Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Wow, it's been a hot minute since I've said that. How are we all doing? I'm back today. We've got a really cool, sick video today. It is another Pokemon vlog. You guys seem to kind of enjoy the last one, and I figured it'd be good to do one for the Pokemon World Championships that took place in London Excel in August. So this would just be kind of like a mini vlog and a kind of a show and tell, really, to kind of show you what happens at these events and everything that goes on. I'll also report on some of my friends who were there who are competing in day one of Worlds, so that'd be kind of cool. So where have I actually been for the past couple of months? Well, I've been quite busy. I've got a new trim. It's a bit shorter, it's a bit nicer, a bit more refreshing for the summer anyway with this heat. And I actually got married. Yeah, it's crazy. My partner and I, Abby, we've been together for 8 years, and we got married on basically our 8-year anniversary, so that was really, really cool. So obviously we're super happy with that. So basically this will be a London vlog. I'm going to plan to do more videos now going forward. I've got that kind of like fire again to get more creative. With FIFA 23 just around the corner, you can bet that I'll be back doing a Chelsea past and present RCG again on that. Really looking forward, and that should be really fun. And I'm looking at getting a bit more involved in the Pokemon side of things. So I'm thinking about doing a bit more like deck profile-y stuff and just in general, just some more Pokemon content. So if you guys are up for that, then yep, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stick around, and let's jump into the vlog.
Good morning, welcome aboard this South Western Railway service through to London Waterloo. We now call at Rhodes Castle, Petersfield, Liss, Limburg, Hazelmere, Wheatley, Milford, Godalming, Guildford, Walthamstow, Woking, Clapham Junction and London Waterloo with scheduled arrival time of 11:14. I see you have your tickets ready to pass through said barriers at London Waterloo. I'd also like to remind passengers that owing to strike action tomorrow, South Western Railway will not be running a service.
Goes away.
Hello.
See him as Apple. He's a good friend. So you've just seen I've made my train journey. I have left Havant. I've arrived at London Waterloo. I've met up with Dave or Davros TCG and Connor, who is competing in the day one of Worlds. We've just arrived at London Waterloo. Now, I've never really been to London before or had to like walk around or travel within London, so it was a bit scary and a bit daunting. I'm not going to lie to you, kind of trying to figure out and navigate all these trains. You know, I'm somebody that grew up in South Wales, in the villages and all that kind of stuff, so kind of coming to a big city like London and trying to work it all out was very, very scary, very daunting. Thankfully, Connor and Dave were very, very good and sorted us out. But yeah, I completely got caught out as well. I had a suitcase, I had a bag on top, and I got my bag on my back, and I was completely thrown. I was just doolallying, kind of just standing in the middle of the escalators, not really knowing much. Obviously, didn't pay attention to the signs that were clearly there. So obviously, you need to stick to the right, don't you? Because if you keep to the right, it allows people on your left to kind of run past. No idea about that. Somebody was trying to barge past me, and I was just like, what the hell's going on? London is crazy. And then, yeah, obviously it turned out that I wasn't paying attention to the signs, and I was just completely out of my depth. And yeah, it's a bit daunting, but we figured it all out. It was never an issue then going forward for the rest of the vlog and for like the rest of traveling through London and all that good stuff. So yeah, at first glance it's very daunting, very scary, but picked it up and it was all fine in the end. So let's jump back into the vlog. Just wanted a side note into that and just kind of explain a bit about why I was a bit useless on these escalators.
Chicken, please.
The peri-peri chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, Nando's.
Yes, please.
The Nando's.
So for our London stay, we booked quite late. The explanation kind of for that was that obviously Connor and Luke knew that they had their spots and they had their passes, but we weren't sure for a very long time how the spectator passes would work, and with the whole fiasco with getting tickets for Liverpool, it was really tough to try and kind of guarantee that we're going to get a ticket or book early to get some of the cheaper places or very close. So thankfully, when they dropped the spectators passes, we jumped straight on it. Dave and myself bought our spectator passes, and we were ready to then finally book a place to stay. It worked out to be an Airbnb, which was about a 5 or 6 minute train journey into another 5 or 6 minute Uber ride, which is obviously quite expensive when you add that up every day over the course of 5 days, Wednesday to Sunday. I think my math is good on that. And yeah, so that's kind of like how it worked out. But basically, every day we'd have to do a train journey into a Uber ride, which kind of bit us towards the end, especially with all the train strikes and stuff that's happening around this weekend. Very typical for Pokemon to book an event on that, but there we go. They weren't to know and they weren't to blame. So yeah, let's jump back into the vlog and let's check out the Airbnb where we stayed. What are you looking for Dave? He's in the toilet, mate. He's in the toilet. But look at this. Lovely little front room. Dave making himself at home. That's cute. Hello. Where's Connor? There he is.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing? Are you feeling confident? No, neither am I. Nice little room. It's cute. It's not bad, is it? What we got? Kitchen. Dave, stop making yourself at home. Not bad. Nice little garden. It's cute. Ow. I didn't know. That's fine. He's chilling. You break your stuff already? What are you doing?
Go find the Dave.
Oh, shocker. He's in the toilet. 2 bathrooms. Very handy. Very handy. Another room. Carbon copy downstairs with a little view. And the Mahusib room. So you've had a quick little tour around our Airbnb. I'm not sure if I would just cut it into shorter segments or not, but as you can see, we are missing our 4th party member, and that is Luke. He was already in London, so we just needed to go and meet him. Unfortunately for him, he didn't realise how far of a journey it was for him to get from the XL Centre to the Airbnb. And obviously, we just dropped our bags off at the Airbnb, so now we need to go and meet him, but he had all of his luggage, so that was a bit of a palaver, but it all kind of worked out in the end. So basically now we had to go leave the Airbnb, the lovely comfy Airbnb where we just were, and travel back to the XL Centre, to go meet up with Luke. This is so cool.
There he is.
Luke.
Hold on. 10-year-old. Hold on. 10-year-old coming to see me now.
So, as some of you are aware, the Pokemon Centre had set up in the London venue, which was, again, unreal. But there was a bit of a palaver and a bit of a situation around that. They released the bookings for it early. We knew that basically Connor and Luke needed to be at the venue to pick up their passes between 5 and 7 from the XL Centre. And I figured, well, we could kind of cut 2 birds with 1 stone. We've just met up with Luke. We could go and book in for the Pokemon Centre entry for around 4 o'clock, or 4:30, should I say. That kind of didn't go to pass. The queuing system was broken and people were just pushing and queuing everywhere. It was crazy. There was a friend of ours who also was booked in for the same time as us at 4:30. He joined the queue at 4:30 expecting to just go straight in. he was queuing for about another hour, so it was about 5:30, and he was still at the back of the queue, and he couldn't get any further because there was just no room to get into the center. It was just all crazy. I think it even made the news about how bad it went, but they ironed it out throughout the week, and like I said, we were very fortunate to be able to go in the next day, which you will finally see some sweet shots of. So outside the venue was just as exciting as inside the venue. Outside, they had set up this massive screen, which was constantly playing episodes of Pokemon, which was really cool.
Neubert, you've got to help Santos!
They'd set up some deck chairs so people could just come along, sit down, watch and enjoy. That was really, really nice. And they also had like an outdoor garden center venue part, which had been giving away free Pokemon exclusive water bottles, and they had like the teas, the Japanese teas. Excuse me for not knowing the exact name, but yeah, they were doing those there. It was just a really nice place, but I'll be honest, for me, my heart was more inside, so I don't really have much footage or much clips from the outside because I was just constantly inside, like I said, doing testing with friends and honestly just catching up with people I've not seen for a very long time. Like I said, my original league is back in Swansea, so it's really nice to catch up with the Swansea crew, and then meeting friends that I've made all over the UK, attending different regionals and different events. They were all there, so it was really nice to kind of catch up with those people.
I'm not too.
Alright. Oh well. How big this queue is. Jesus Christ. Is there a book?
No, my only loss.
Only loss all day. Legit. It was the fucking...
Like, I'll take the L to him, and it was just like, you know what, we're not going to drop any more after the break. Oh my god, they're going to be ACL in here.
It's awesome.
All the way to the back. TCG players, the blue side. Video game, the red side.
So here I've nabbed a screenshot of the Worlds bags. So these were given to members that actually got their Worlds invites, and I want to say Pokemon did a really, really, really good job with what they put into the bag. You know, they usually put in your typical sleeves, your deck boxes, but they really went really far this year. They added a Nintendo Switch case, which I was quite a big fan of. I assume that's more pointed towards the VG side. You also have the screen cleaner. There's like a nice pin. There's obviously your badge. The playmat, I think, is really sick. The hat, really cool. You can buy that. The plushie, again, exclusive London content. I love it. And this year as well, they included, I think it was like a pack of 10 tropical beaches, I believe that's right. In 10 different languages. So that was really cool of Pokemon this year, and I think they really, really smashed it with the content that they gave out to their Worlds players this year.
I tweeted it on the hashtag. There is a hashtag this year.
I'll have to have a look later.
Cool, so I'm very fortunate enough. Connor was very happy to kind of lay out his deck list before his day one event. He opted to play the Arceus Gengar barrel list. It's very similar, or quite heavily similar to his Arceus Ice Rider list, but he felt that Ice Rider just wasn't quite it in this meta, and the Gengar obviously covers your type weakness and hits that sweet 280 math with very minimal changes needed to be done. So yeah, the list, as you can see, is on screen. There's nothing too crazy about it. I just think that the Obstagoon was kind of the throw off, and I think obviously that's kind of just to get around your kind of your Miltank stall or control player. And I think it proved heavily useful in also setting up things like hitting 280 on opponents' Arceuses and things like that. And obviously hitting that sweet 280 on Palkia. 280, like I said, is that sweet number that you need to hit. And Connor thoroughly believed that this deck was the right way to go about that. Yo guys, how's it going? It's currently 11:30 right now. Everybody's gone to bed, and again, I'm always the last to go. Typical me, right? Yeah, I got a super early get up time tomorrow. I think we're getting up for like 6, which kind of means, yeah, just a lot of traveling, a lot of staying out. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. But yeah, come along with me. We're going to see what we get up to. It should be some fun side events, meeting up with some cool people and playing some fun games of Pokemon. So yeah, let's have a little tour tomorrow and let's see what tomorrow brings. So catch you guys in a sec. We're walking up into the day 1 Worlds. I'm asking Connor and checking if he's okay and make sure he's actually slept the night before. Luke's pretty relaxed. He's been in this situation a few times, and I think, you know, for him, just competing in Worlds is more about improving on his result from previous years. Obviously, Dave is just as excited as I am to get inside the venue and see for the first time what it's going to be looking like. And just walking down the XL building as well, just seeing all the banners, the posters, the Twitch streams and everything. It was just such a surreal experience. And obviously we had to go through a quick bag check before we could enter. And then finally we get to just walk into the venue. We were kind of like hounded a bit, like it felt like a bit of a VIP kind of vibe, where we're just kind of people like bodyguards watching you as you walk down into the sacred area, and then you just see that massive Pikachu on the roof just chilling and staring you down. And it is one of the coolest things I think I've ever experienced. And seeing obviously the Pokeballs projected, and then finally being able to see the magnitude of the size of the room that Pokemon have booked out and how big the XL Center is. This was a COVID masks, so masks had to be worn at all times inside the venue. And yeah, like I said, it was just super surreal seeing all the judges clapping everybody in and just seeing, obviously, like I said, how big this place is. It was amazing.
I'm a spectator, bro. What's going on? It's
wild.
Pyramid.
Once again, players, please be aware that wearing a mask is mandatory and will be enforced. If you did not bring a mask, you can put up at customer service. Your mask needs to cover your mouth as well as your nose at all times. If you did not bring it, once again, you can get one at customer service. But wearing a mask is mandatory and will be enforced.
Huh? Yeah, that's where we have to go.
Here we are getting our first glimpses at the first place and runner-up trophies, also with the first place Champions Festival and the #1 trainer card for the winners of any event they partake in. London chair, and then as we look across from the stairs through the sea of people, of course, we then finally get to see the amazing stage the Pokemon have done with... it was just so amazing. The first time I see it, I remember just saying, or thinking to myself, wow, this is amazing. So glad I'm here. said already, Connor and Luke are off to play their day one after that amazing intro scene. So it was time for us to go and visit the Pokemon Center. And again, like I said, I've probably said this a million times already, but again, it was amazing. It was super surreal, and just the experience of this all was incredible. As we walk in, we get given these lovely yellow bags, basically in saying, please, fill up these bags, go crazy, buy what you want. And just to let you know, I went crazy and I bought some amazing products. Like I say, you can kind of understand the vast size of this thing when I pan around the room. And here we see the lovely exclusive Pokemon dice. And they were something I was really hoping for and hoping to pick up. Like I said, they had a multitude of different things. They had t-shirts, hoodies, jumpers, hats, plushies, socks, bags, any product that Pokemon could get their hands on. Even the skateboards. The skateboards looked unreal. And I believe Bear Walker was also there signing boards as well. So that was a really cool thing. If you bought a board, you could get it signed. So that's very nice. So as you can see as well, that bag there, as you've probably already alluded to, that is in my background right now because it was looking a bit plain, and I thought it'd be quite nice to have something a bit more personal and a bit more Pokemon-esque. Yeah, it was just amazing. I think I was very fortunate to go when I did. I heard, I believe, the day after I went, a lot of the main stock that people were after and chasing had already sold out. So things like playmats and certain t-shirts and certain dices and things like that, they'd already gone. So I was very lucky that I got in when I did, because I'd have been very gutted to have missed out an opportunity to obviously buy some of those products. And we'll obviously cut to shortly where I will show you exactly what I bought. So that was kind of exciting, and my bank account does not like me for it. But yeah, as you can see, everyone's just filling up. Everyone's just loving the vibe and just loving it. All this exclusive Pokemon merch that, you know, we're very fortunate to have in London for the first time ever. And I really hope that Pokemon do return to the UK for another major event similar to Worlds. There was these really cool t-shirts there. There was like Team Ghost or Team Fire and things like that. There was really cool walking around the venue and seeing multiple people backing their typings. I thought that was quite a unique experience. And quite cool as well when you face an opponent who prefers, I don't know, fire. When you walk up with your water t-shirt and you go, yeah, I'm going to beat you on it. But yeah, like I said, they even had activewear as well. That took me by surprise. I did not expect to see Pokemon activewear as well. That was quite cool. And yeah, I love that. I just clocked it as well. The Sinistea on the end there is very British. And then probably my most favourite pan that you're ever going to see is this. Boom! Look at those Pikachu plushies, man. And the Rosalia plushies as well. It took me a while to figure out why it was Rosalia, and then I figured it out, obviously, because we're in England, and the rose is quite commonly associated with England, obviously, especially with things like rugby and stuff. Yeah, that kind of, the light bulb went off in my brain. But yeah, plenty of photo opportunities about, and they had these really cool, like, full-on replica balls that were there as well, so I kind of wanted to get a cool shot of these. I think they were just impressive. They were quite expensive, but I think they are probably the nicest ornament that you could ever have in your room. So if you did buy one, please do let me know, and let me know how sick it looks on your backdrop or your shelves or wherever you have it. I'm personally somebody who opts to go for the plushies myself, and they had a variety of plushies, but I only went in with the kind of one goal. There was only one plushie I really wanted, and there was a Rayquaza plushie. Rayquaza being like one of my most favorite Pokemon, so I had to find one, and I had to try and see if I could find a Darkrai plushie or a Lucario plushie. Those three, man, top three Pokemon alongside with Greninja. So yeah, like I said, it was kind of busy as well. It's really hard to kind of push through some of these crowds because it's a one-way system in a way, and it was really difficult. Like if you go, oh, actually, I really wouldn't mind buying that product, then people start running backwards into you, and it kind of gets a bit messy, as you can kind of see. So it was very busy, very hard to kind of squeeze through and try and get to the places that you needed to. But, obviously the paths eventually cleared. So I think we're coming up to the end now. We've passed all the plushies, and now we're coming up to things like smaller singular plushies and TCG products. And these were obviously flying off the shelf with the hype around Palkia VSTAR from the TCG side. There was a lot of people who were very committed in trying to hit those Palkias because For some reason, Pokemon didn't have any vendors inside the venue, which was really strange. Like, I expected things like Magic Madhouse to potentially be there, but they weren't. I basically was looking to just buy some cards and sell some cards, and yeah, I didn't really find a chance to do that. And I think a lot of people might have been banking on the same thing, so it kind of became a panic, I guess, for some people trying to buy some cards. But as we pan over some of these amazing plushies, I mean, plushies of Pokemon that you would never see plushies of, which is really cool as well. I think you see there's just a Krabby there, there's a Mightyena there, there's a Marill there as well, so that was really cool. And then that was there. I think you can just see it in the backdrop there, but there's a Charizard and Leon statue. Very expensive, but a very, very cool statue indeed. Yeah, like I said, they had an abundance of TCG products available, readily available, and different lanyards as well. Obviously not as nice as the spectators or competitors lanyards, I will say, but that's just me. Yeah, and then that was it then. And then it should just be a quick pan to the checkouts, which I feel sorry for those staff working there. It must have been super, super busy dealing with millions of customers and hoping everything worked as it should. Okay, so what did I buy in the Pokemon store? Let's dive in. Obviously, the first one that you guys have seen in the back of the video is this lovely Pokemon World Championships exclusive bag. This would be my bag going forward to any Pokemon event. I think I've abused my Vans bag for long enough, so I think it needs a bit of a break. And I'm a big, big fan of this. It's got plenty of compartments, and I really like this little zipper as well. Really cool. So let's dive into what's inside. I did like as well, actually, when Pokemon gave you your stuff, you could walk around in this kind of like plastic yellow Pikachu bag. So that was kind of cool. So I'm a big fan of that. Helps carry your shopping or whatever you want to do with it. It's a nice little cool bag. What have we got inside? We have, as I've already said, or you've probably guessed, the London 2022 playmat. So let's have a little look at how that looks. Pull it out. I don't think I've actually really pulled this out. I kind of just went, yep, I'm buying it, let's go. So there is the London 2022 playmat that you could buy at the store. I'm a big fan. I probably won't use it. It's probably just going to be more of like a memento that I keep for myself. I have my official Team Donk playmat, which is the Pokemon team that we play together and we all train and test together. So that was the lovely playmat. You did see in one of the videos, I did buy the snapback. I'm a big fan of the snapback. I really, really liked it. The thing I always find is that it's really hard to get the sizing right. I don't feel like 2 is big enough for my head. I've quite a big head, but I don't think 2 is big enough and 1 is not strong enough to hold it. But I'm not somebody that can wear it kind of like going forward, so I have to be somebody that wears it backwards. So I have to look like proper hipster. Yeah, whatever. It's cool. And then inside of the tab, you have the really cool artwork that they had on all the banners and stuff as well. So yeah, big fan of the hat. Super big fan. That's why I had to buy it. What else have we got in here? We have... yeah. This is the Spectator Pass. I got mine from Connor. With every World's Invite, you got a free Spectator Pass. So there was the lovely Spectator Pass. And this was the lanyard that they give you as well, which is really cool. I really, really like it. I don't want to damage it, so I'm going to keep it very, very safe. And in here, they also gave away a free travel pass holder, which I was quite a big fan of. So that's really nice. So for your luggage and stuff, that's really cool. Got that for free. I also then had to buy a set of the dice. So if you quickly pan back, I'm not going to open this, I want to keep this sealed, but I bought the blue coloured dice because that's the kind of colour scheme that I've got on my deck box and my playmat and things like that. And I also like the coin a lot as well. I think the coin was nice coloured as well. So yeah, had to buy this as well. And lastly, I'm going to put it up on screen because it sits with all my plushies in work, but I bought a Rayquaza plushie, which made me so happy. Now we get to the fun bit. Testing. So I'd already prepaid to get into the open. Dave had also done the same, and Connor and Luke. I mean, obviously we hope they didn't get there. We hope that they progress further into Worlds rather than competing in the open, but sometimes it's like that. So I wasn't really feeling any of the decks that I was feeling. I had a Lucario list built up that I really liked. Which I'm going to be doing a deck profile on coming soon. And I also had the Darkrai VSTAR like Turbo Dark list. If you know me as a person, I'm a big fan of playing super aggressive turbo decks. I'm a big fan of, obviously, Rayquaza GX, got me my first ever top 8, which ultimately led me to a final, and sadly I lost in the final, but Rayquaza GX was such a big favourite deck of mine, and I like the pressure that Zygarde Buzzrock would provide with B-Strings. It's very aggressive, getting your opponent to certain checkmate situations. And obviously then I played a lot of Darkrai EX back in the day, and when Darkrai VSTAR was announced, I was super hyped about it, but I don't know, the list just felt weird. There was something about it. I mean, I was testing it, and you're going to see some footage of me testing it, but just kind of wasn't vibing as hard as I thought I would be with the list, so I needed to change tack and come up with another list. So I kind of landed on this Arceus Lucario VSTAR list, in the idea that obviously there wasn't a lot of fighting decks in the room, and that the Lucario obviously automatically will win your Arceus matchups because nobody's really playing Dunsparce right now. And then just having to play things like Path of the Peak and things like that, just to kind of skew, kind of prize it, just to make things awkward, you know, playing Path of the Peak, playing Marnies, and playing a Barrel Engine. And then we also included a 1-1 Crobat line to kind of help with that Mew VMAX matchup as well. But in testing, I kind of didn't really love the list as much as I wanted to, and it was really awkward into Palkia. I just could not hit that math that you really wanted to. 280 was a super big struggle. But yeah, as we pan across the room, then you'll kind of see, you know, how packed this venue was. And I think even then, if you weren't even in the event, how packed the side events was. There was so much to do in terms of side event stuff to do. It was awesome. And sadly, I didn't really do much of the side events, to be honest. Like I said already, it was really nice to just catch up with friends and play some cards and test some fun decks. But yeah, I think if you did take part in some of the side events, please let me know, because they looked awesome and they looked really, really fun. So remember I said that there were no vendors inside? That was technically not fully truthful. What I mean by that is, inside the venue, true, there wasn't anything, but outside the venue there was so many third-party vendors, it was crazy. They kind of set up in like the food area and just dominated these tables and laid out all these products, and I mean everything. They had just binders of staples, rare cards, PSA graded cards, Japanese products like card sleeves, play mats, dice boxes. People were turning up with their Etsy shops. So people were printing out these really cool like Greninja, like these, I can't even describe it, but it was like a little Greninja marker that was really cool. I really wanted to buy one, but they sold out super quick. Because obviously with everyone playing Palkia and playing the Radiant Greninja, it was a nice little Greninja mask, or like a little Greninja face to kind of mark that you've used your ability. But yeah, they had everything there. They even had a barrel one if you wanted to show that you'd use your industrial incisors. It was really cool. Boom, look at this. I've changed scenes. No, this is awesome. This is just going to be a little discussion about how Connor and Luke did on their day one worlds. As you can obviously see from on reading the screen, if you've already done it already, Connor, like I've already said already, played the Arceus VSTAR Gengar VMAX deck, and Luke played the ever so trusty and faithful Arceus Inteleon deck. Both of them felt like okay coming to the tournament. I think they both wished they'd done a little bit more testing around the Palkia matchups. But thankfully they didn't obviously bounce off Palkia for 7 or 8 games, so that was good. So Connor, for his first ever Worlds, finished 3-4-1, which I think he was super happy with. I think he just wanted to get as many wins as losses, and he was super gutted about the tie, which I think was a game he definitely could have won, having listened to him, feedback to me. And Luke finished 4-4, which he was quite happy with, I think, all things considered. I mean, he didn't really test much before the event, but in credit to him, Luke is an incredibly skilled player, and he knows what he's doing. And Luke and Arceus Inteleon is definitely a deck you need to be quite switched on for, and to still finish 4-4 with not really much testing is still very impressive. And I'm sure that they'll both be pushing for that invite this year, and will be trying to, get a better result next year and hopefully compete for that World Championship.
Yo, we're back in the venue. It's day 2. We're going to be back doing some more testing ready for tomorrow.
Let's see some clips and see what we've got. I'm going to do some recordings, some side events and stuff that's going on today. Let's just see how we get on. And I've got to watch out, there's like a massive interview going on here. Let's see if we can see it, hold on. Looks very serious. Yeah, we're going to go meet up, we're going to do some testing. I've built a super jank deck. I'll show you guys in a second, but yeah, catch you guys in a sec. So yeah, I figured I would just do some talking over as well, just to show you kind of some of the side events, setups and things like that. There was pre-releases being held. There was like a Ditto draft, which I'd never heard about until this weekend. I also did spot a sign as well. That was for like a Pokedad competition, which I thought was really cool. So obviously if you're a parent that has to test against your child or your senior or whatever, and your child is playing in the tournament itself, instead of you just sitting around and you kind of have an interest yourself, there was a little Pokedad competition, which I thought was really nice. It was really catering for a lot of people, and I think Pokemon did a really, really good job in making sure that there was plenty of events for people and plenty to do if you weren't taking part in the main event. And obviously, like I said, with the abundance of table spaces, there was, you were never pushed for room. You were never, you were never struggling to find a space or to find anything. So yeah, it was just a really cool environment. And if you're somebody who's majorly into Pokemon and the trading card game, even the VGC as well, there's so much for you guys to do. Some of the day 2 Worlds players kind of playing here, I think you can just make out Tablemon is in a match just there. But it was kind of nice after a while of playing some games to just kind of just sit down, chill out, watch some of the stream, watch some of the Pokken stream as well, which I'd never really watched much of the Pokken tournament stream. It was just cool, just sit back and just enjoy just the Pokemon vibe. It was just so sick. Now watching the stream is all well and good, but when you've had a long day of playing Pokemon, getting up crazy hours early, you do start to get a bit hungry. And there's only really one place that you can go, isn't there?
They always do it.
Now then, what the hell did I play for the Pokemon Open? Right, so you can probably quickly already read what I played. Let me explain what happened. On the first day of Worlds, I said to Connor, because I wasn't, like I said already, I wasn't feeling the Lucario list and I wasn't feeling the Darkrai list. So I was like, Connor, give me odds on to play Arceus Greninja. And we went 1 to 10. And we both said 7. So I was stuck. I had to play Arceus Greninja V Union. And we theory crafted this list in about 24 hours. And it was so good and so convincing enough that Connor played the exact same 60 for the Open. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it. And obviously, there needs to be a deck profile to kind of discuss the list. If you're super interested about that, that will literally be my next video that I'll be doing, to kind of discuss the list that I played. And since then, we have now refined the list to be even better. So if you're excited for that as well, that'll also be part of the deck profile, and we'll do some games and kind of discuss like how the matchups work. But all I can say is the math is there, the deck does work. It's just a little bit janky now that I've seen the results of Worlds, but we'll get into that later, or like I said, in the deck profile. So yeah, as you can see here, round 1, I paired up against a Palkia VSTAR Inteleon player. And our round 1 went to 40 minutes, like literally just round 1. I was on 1 prize, my opponent had 2, and my opponent rock-sanded me into literally nothing, and then had bossed game, and we didn't finish round 2, which was super gutting. But my opponent then played 2 Marnies in his list and a Roxanne, which I was not expecting, and that kind of goes against how we'd built the list, which is really unlucky. Round 2 then, I paired up against a Arceus VSTAR Inteleon. Now, something I really want to know about this, my opponent in the first game wasn't really expecting, like, obviously was super confused by this. Everybody who I ever showed any Greninja pieces to was super confused. As soon as I basically managed to get off a beautiful take 2 prizes and then bossed up something on his not damaged Arceus, so his damaged Arceus on the bench with a Zigzagoon and Drizzile, and then I Echo Horned the Zigzagoon. So he had a damaged Arceus with 100 HP left, a Galarian Zigzagoon, and a Drizzile. And I did the Greninja 100 to the bench to board wipe for 4 prizes in 1 turn, which was one of the coolest things I've ever done, but that was what the deck was designed to do. And then sadly, my opponent won in time to bring the game to a tie. The Mew VMAX matchup, I should have won this. I was super unlucky because I think I ordinary rodded. I could have ordinary rodded the Arceus V, but I didn't, and that was my misplay because my opponent was able to just boss Arceus KO, boss Arceus KO, Echo Horn Arceus V KO before, and I literally had my opponent in a checkmate scenario of I had the Greninja active, he had a Genesect on the bench with 10 HP because I had to hit into it with an Arceus to set up another Arceus earlier in the game. And my board state was Greninja V Union active with 3 energy, an Arceus VSTAR on the bench with Big Charm and a Water Energy, and I had DT in hand if he decided to boss that. And all I had to do was do the 100 spread to everything. But in theory, Mew should be a really easy matchup as long as you can like force your opponent to go really slowly through your Arceuses, set up your Greninja, and then just in 2 turns just wipe their Genesects off and take 6 prizes in 1 turn. But sadly, it did not go. I had 2 prizes. My opponent had 2. He got the Echo Horn boss KO. And then game 2, Meloetta Dunk, infamous, but nothing I could do about it. Round 4, I paired up against an Entei v Raikou v Box. It was kind of relying a lot on the Zapdos and Moltres from Pokemon Go to buff your damages. He actually was a local from Portsmouth, so shout out to you. I got the win. I think the Sharon's Care played very heavily into my favour. And like I said, because this deck is designed to kind of really force opponents to go slow, we didn't finish a game 2. Round 5, I paired up against a really, really good player. And he was playing Gengar VMAX, which is just an incredible auto loss for this deck. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, game 1 was like super close, but he was just hitting enough heads off of Lucky Ice Pop to stay alive by like 10 HP. It was infuriating, but it's what the deck's designed to do, so shout out to my opponent there. Round 6, I paired up against a Jolteon VMAX Inteleon list. This was quite unexpected, and I really badly misplayed game 1, which gave me the loss. And then I just went super aggressive game 2 to get the win. Which resulted in the tie, and I thought at this point that I couldn't play on. I didn't really realize that I could still get points if I kept playing and if I got this win, because my opponent wanted to give me the win, but I said that we should tie because it gives him a chance, because he was a new player. I said it gives you a chance to play against some other opponents, so giving credit to him. So we tied, and then round 7 was a no-show, so I ended up finishing 2-3-2. Didn't bother playing day 2 because it was only 3 games and I couldn't really get points from it. So but Connor, like I said, he had to go win to get top 128, and he did it with this deck, and he played some crazy decks. And yeah, he's done a Twitter post about it, so if you want to go check it out, I'll put a link down there. And yeah, so Connor got 40 points playing Arceus Greninja V Union, so just remember that before you mock it, alright? Like I said, I'll be doing a deck profile about it, so if you want to see a bit more about this, then yeah, just wait for that video to come out. Just also wanted to note as well, here's some footage of the actual, the Open. They had so many players for the Open, they had to split us up into 2 to 3 pods, I believe. And each had about between 500 and 600 players. So there's a lot of points on offer, but there was a lot of players playing, and there was a lot of very, very good players playing. I believe, you know, the likes of things like Azul, Jesper Eriksson, Stefan Eriksson. You can see Azul there, just there playing on table 35. And basically any major player that wasn't in Worlds was competing in the Open. So like I said, it was a very, very stacked Open. So if you did get results at this place, you know, hats off to you. You played really, really well in probably the toughest crowd you could ever managed play. To get some super sick footage of the winners for the Unite. So this is the final for Unite. So this is declare the champions. I'm very lucky to catch it, actually. I wasn't actually sure of their schedule. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But yeah, here they are lining up on their stage, ready to receive their first place and runners-up trophy. I'm quite a big fan of Unite, actually. I don't play it enough, but the game is really, really fun. As I said already, they were hosting a bunch of Pokken tournaments, championships, and little mini tournaments as well that you could take part in. I heard a lot of screaming and shouting from that neck of the woods. There must have been some really cool plays that was happening over there, especially if you're a fan of like fighting games. It's really, really cool. And of course, then they had the Legend of Arceus on a bunch of Switch consoles that you could try and play the game. I've actually yet to play it. It is on my to-do list, but I do feel like Violet and Scarlet are going to take precedence before I eventually get my hands on Arceus. I think I'd like to dabble a little bit or look into a bit of the VGC, but we'll see how that goes. I know there's a lot to learn for a new player. So yeah, just a quick shot as well. These are some of the very late players, or I think this is just even some of the Open players for juniors and seniors. I think again, you know, they were super stacked and super busy. So just shows that everybody was there trying to push for points and trying to get whatever they could get their hands on. And obviously just compete and play Pokemon cards against some of the best in the world, you know. The best in the world have turned up to this event. And what a better way to test or hone your skills than to take part in these events. So yeah, no, big shout out to everybody that was there. I really hope you all had a really good time. I know I did, and I can't wait to go to my next venue and to my next event, and I'm going to train super hard ready for it. So now we come to the main event on the Sunday, the Juniors, Seniors, and Masters TCG finals. I mean, these are the ones obviously that I was paying the most attention to. The VGC was very fun to watch as well, but obviously this is where my focus mainly was. So the junior final was a Palkia VSTAR and Inteleon mirror match. I think everybody kind of knew or expected Palkia to do really, really well in this tournament. And as you can see, a mirror match in the junior finals with Rakuto O playing against Tristan T. And as you can see, Rakuto took game 1. And then I believe Tristan took game 2 due to Rakuto playing Roxanne, I think, when Tristan was on 4 prizes. So that caused a prize penalty, which went a bit skew. So that was pretty messed up game 2. And then game 3 was just a clean sweep. So shout out to Rakuto for winning in the junior finals. And he has said as well that he's going to come up and win the seniors and the masters as well. So look forward to tracking his progress throughout the years. The senior finals was very, very interesting. We had Sebastian playing a Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX Inteleon list into Liam's Palkia VSTAR Inteleon. Again, Palkia throwing and rearing his head. The Rapid Strike Urshifu kind of took a lot of people by surprise. I don't think anybody really expected it, and I think it showed a lot of people how good the deck is. I think it was very focused around like Rapid Strike and the mechanics using things like Octillery and Tower of Waters, and I think it leaned heavily into the Yoga Loop attack and being able to take an extra turn, and I think that's why Sebastian won game 2, but I don't think he could set it up game 1, which is super unlucky for him. And sadly then that resulted in Liam winning game 1 and 3 and Sebastian only taking game 2. But again, it was a really cool final to watch, and I think it showed the power of Rapid Strike Urshifu, which a lot of people would write off due to the presence of things like Mew being still very, very prominent in the format. Last but not least, we come up to the Masters TCG final, and thankfully, as you can see, there is no more Palkia. Yay! Yeah, this turned out to be a almost close to a mirror match where both players played a Arceus VSTAR, Flying Pikachu VMAX, and his Hawaiian Decidueye VSTAR list. With Daichi Shimada leaning more into the 2-1 Jolteon line, I believe, with Memory Capsule to turn off Palkia's Inteleon engine, and then cutting the Hawaiian Decidueye line to a 1-1, whereas Andre Scubal lent heavily more into a 2-2 Decidueye without the Jolteon, and then leaning more into Barrel, heavy Path, and heavy Marnie counts. As you can see, Andre won 2 games back to back. It was a clean sweep, and I can say it was probably one of the most intense finals I've ever watched. Both players played that phenomenally. Both playing very aggressive and both playing the best that they could, and always playing to the outs, which is a massive shout out to both players. They played, like I said, amazingly well, and I'm sure everybody else like me who hasn't invested heavily into the Palkia engine has now also bought the Hawaiian Decidueye and Flying Pikachu lines. So it's made an impact on me, and I know that I'm going to be heavily investing into training with Arceus going forward, and I'm excited to see what other partners we can come up with the dreaded Giratina VSTAR coming. So the TCG finals have finished, and we are coming up to the end of the Masters VGC finals, and I was quite surprised at how packed out it was. I was very surprised again about how many people were genuinely more interested into the VGC than the TCG. That's just something that I've learned just naturally over time. But yeah, I was just super impressed. People were queuing left, right and centre just to try and watch the VG finals. Maybe these people just understand a lot more than I do around how the VG meta works, but best believe I'll be putting my research and going heavily into learning how the VG side and different Pokemon and different partners and how it all works. But yeah, no, even though I was somebody that didn't really understand, it was super interesting to watch and very enjoyable, in fairness, to get into the hype that everyone else was getting into when certain attacks would crit or when super effective Pokemon were getting knocked out in one hits. So yeah, very, very fun, very entertaining, and would love to watch another final again, if I'm honest. So yeah, Pokemon have made their big TCG announcement. EX Pokemon are back. Now, I'm very much on the fence about this. There's a strong part of me that really loves this idea, and there's a part of me that doesn't love this idea. And I'll kind of explain a little bit briefly why. They need to get it just right. Now, what do I mean by this? They did say that EXs will rival VMAXs in terms of power and HP. Fine. But when I picture EXs, I picture things like, Volcanion EX just being basic slapdowns, which means everybody's just going to be playing basics. But from the screenshots that we can see here with the Mimikyu, Lucario, and Magnezone, it sounds like we're going to be getting things like one prizer stage 1s and stage 2s. We're going to be getting one prizer basics and stage 1s if your Pokemon evolves into stage 2, for example, and a one prizer basic that evolves into a stage 1. If that's the case, that's a major win and a major step forward, which is what everybody's crying out for. But they also need to make sure they get the HPs right, and I think we kind of can work it out. So we can see here that Mimikyu roughly has about 190 hit points on a basic. That's about right, I think. Maybe around 200 would probably be my cap. The Lucario, I think, roughly has about 260 on a stage 1. That's an okay HP, and Magnezone has around 330, which is also, again, fine, because you have to work to get to that stage. Obviously, a lot of people, including myself, really enjoyed the GX format, where we had things like Gardevoir GX and things like that. They were really big Pokemon with high hit points, but you had to work to get up to that level. So I hope that this EXs kind of follow that vibe. We also got to look a little bit at Koraidon and Miraidon, I believe that's how you pronounce it. These abilities and attacks look crazy, but you can see there's like slight gaps between the basic Pokemon, so I'm curious to see what that's about, and I hope we get to learn a bit more if they're going to be basic, stage 1 or stage 2s, and it'd be really nice to know what their HP is as well. I also don't believe that they're not going to have any weakness, resistance, or retreat. That would be a bit nuts. So I hope we learn a little bit more about that. And again, I'm excited for where Pokemon is going. I'm glad they kind of scrapping this whole VMAX format. And we were talking about it in amongst our group as well, and discussing the idea that the problem with V-Stars and stuff right now is that the V that you evolve from into a V-Star is giving up 2 prizes, which means that, in, let's say, a Palkia versus Arceus matchup, right? If Palkia goes first and takes the first KO, it's going to try and take a KO on an Arceus V. Once it does that, it's already 2 prizes ahead. Then you've got to then KO the Arceus, then you've only got 2 prizes left to take after you've taken the Arceus out, right? So kind of skewing it back to 1 prizes in terms of your basic and stage 1s is a major win, and I think everybody is on board with that idea. So yeah, I'm super excited to see what Pokemon comes with next. I'm really excited for any new announcements that they come out with. But so far, I think everybody's on this super hype train of EXs are back, and let's go Pokemon. Sadly, that is the end of the vlog. I really hope you enjoyed what I've done. I hope it's a bit better than Liverpool's one in the sense that I was actually doing better camera angle stuff. Hopefully you guys noticed that and you guys can enjoy not just, the very narrow, anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed the vlog this time. If you did, leave a like, please do. Drop a comment down below. Any tips that you can give me or anything that I need to do going forward for these vlogs, please, like I said, leave a comment down below. I'm always willing to learn, and I just want to get better at making better content for you guys. Like I've already said multiple times, I'm going to try and do more in the Pokemon space. The first video I'll be doing will probably be a Arceus Greninja V Union deck list and kind of going a bit more in depth about how we built that, what was our thought process and why we built it the way we did. I'll also be cooking up a super spicy Lucario VSTAR list, which I'm very, very excited to show you guys, and the list and testing has been working really well, so please stick around for that. And then any other deck lists that I can kind of cook and come up with, I'll be posting more deck lists for that. And yeah, like I've already said, I'll be back doing some FIFA 23 content when that drops with Ultimate Team. So if you guys are interested in that side of things, then please do stick around. I'm still alive. I still want to make videos. It's just things have gone a little dry recently, and I kind of needed a little bit of a break to kind of try and come up with some cool ideas. But I'm back. I'm ready. And hopefully you like this style and this energy that I've got to making videos. So yeah, thanks again for watching. If you have watched the whole thing, take it easy, guys, and peace.